How do you guys make money? How do you help other people? Walk me through that.
Yeah, and this goes into what you said. I call it the earning stage, where you're as an entrepreneur, when you're trying to just figure things out, you kind of have to earn your way to success. And I tried so many business models, selling courses and doing coaching. I even tried the bigger services. So now we do a hybrid of all of it, right? But the fun part is I've automated the courses, right? To where that just sells, it works on its own. So I don't have to be stressed about it as
So
much.
what is your course about? Like, what's the topic?
First, I have an absurd amount of course content, like because I've been recording since 2015. As soon as I started
So you
podcasting,
just
I
started
started,
making courses of how to do stuff.
and I kept all of it. So I have like over 500 hours. It's
Oh, wow.
absurd.
So what's your best-selling course?
My best-selling course it would have to be the podcast cash flow blueprint,
Okay.
where I go through monetizing from the bottom to the top, whether it's getting sponsored, being an affiliate, selling
How much is
products.
that? Like, how much does that cost?
That one is only $500.
Okay.
Like,
And
I
then,
don't.
like, how many do you think you'll sell this year of that one?
Oh man, Podfx is literally tomorrow. So
Yeah, so it might blow up.
yeah, it always does, man.
Oh, okay. So when you go and do a show like that, those take off because you already know it works, right? So like,
Yeah.
so a good event. Just tell me what a good, like, you're going to speak tomorrow. How many of those are you going to sell, like, just from that one event?
Well, because I have it bundled with the book, and then I have a workbook, and I have a bunch of stuff, I probably will sell about 50 put together. So I have like
That's
a 70% off deal going. Yeah, and I set it up because I've done this. I've done maybe over 60 speaking engagements now in the past like 3 years. So I have a system now
Yeah.
where when I go and speak, I have a whole sales process set up, a
So
sales
you're
page
driving
and
everybody
everything.
towards that. Yeah, that's
The
really
same
smart
place.
because I have some people. I'm talking with some people and different people launching courses, and some people are struggling through that. So when you first started, obviously you probably failed a lot of times to get to, hey, I do this one event and I make $25,000. Walk me through some of the failures that you started with as far as courses went, and how you got to that blueprint that really worked well.
Oh man, I used to try to use Twitter a lot. And Twitter actually eventually worked, but I used it wrong for the first 3 courses I put out. I used it wrong. I just talked about it after it was done and everything. And I tried to run sales like, oh, if you don't buy now, then it's all going to go away. And I realized that nobody was really paying attention. They didn't care. So one of the things that I did is I started talking to people and have them build the product with me.
Mm-hmm.
So all that time I spent talking to people for free, I just said, hey, look, I want to talk to 10 people in the next 3 weeks for 30 minutes and just ask you some questions about your podcast journey. And all I would do is take all the data I would ask everybody the same question and record it. And I would take all of that information and go and make the course on that. I would circle back to those same people, sell them the course 50% off, and then interview them again after they go through the course. And I would even add that as course content for a bonus as well. So, and the funniest part is I even use my podcast to do that, because at a certain point, I was thinking
You
like,
can tell I'm doing it, right? I'm sitting here like, okay, tell me how to fix my podcast, right?
exactly.
It's smart, yeah.
Because it works so well in so many ways. And then I switched it again. I said, why have this podcast if I'm not going to use this podcast to generate leads for the courses that I'm selling? So that's when I tried something new. I said, okay, I'm going to do a content blitz. I put out an episode every day for a week straight. And this course I had was about $200. And I said, I'm going to keep it at 200. I just want to see how many I could sell. And I put out an episode every day for 5 days straight. And it was all like like myself talking to the audience, training content.
So were you teasing
every
course?
episode?
So every episode,
Every
like for
episode.
20 minutes to 15 minutes, or what was it?
Yep. 15 to 20 minutes every episode. And I kind of made it like a masterclass and then broke it down to release. And I made like a little over 12 grand in that 1 week.
So that felt good, right? So you were probably making hundreds before, right? Or maybe thousands before. And now, so now it's blown up. So you're like, okay, I got the formula now. So then, So what was the next step after that you went from, okay, I made 12 grand this week. How'd you go back to that well and keep pumping it?
Well, I realized that it's not something you want to do like every single week, obviously. So now it's something that I do, once a quarter. And now I even use that same strategy of packaging things together and creating bundles. I put that onto the podcast at times where I will literally record my own ad for the show sometimes. But I never try to sell like, hey, go and buy this and get all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I like to present it as, you have this problem, I have this solution. Here's the first step to the solution, and I give that away for free. And when they go and get that, they go and schedule a call, and they usually buy. So I don't really necessarily sell on the podcast. I'm not like, hey, this is going to cost you $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't.
I like the way
you actually said.
You actually said in one of your podcasts, you were like, hey, I help people monetize their podcast. If you're not into that, then you can stop listening now. And it's like because you already know like 99.9% of people out there don't make anything from their podcast, right? So you're just like, cool, I'm gonna just niche down, and then I'm gonna hammer. This is what I do. And you have a lot of great. I mean, this has been so good, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Anything that I forgot to ask you about that you feel like I want to touch on your book. What's your book? When does it come out? How much is it? How can people find it?
So the Business of Podcasting is releasing on June 1st. Man, I'm super excited to just have this book out to actually help podcasters monetize. And this book is for any podcaster that wants to make money. Whether you have a business or not, whether you have a company or not, if you have one employee that's just your best friend, I don't care. I can help you monetize your show no matter what level you're on. I've done this with a ton of shows. And throughout the book, I give you all the processes. The workbook that comes with the book even has templates for emails to work with sponsors and stuff. Like, all of that is in there. So you can get the book. It's only $17. It'll be on my website, getthebusinessofpodcasting.com. And we even have the
ultimate. It's out now? It's out right now?
Yeah, it's out now. Okay. And we even have like the ultimate bundle where I'm putting all of my courses, all of my content in there, everything I've done over the past 7 years to make sure you can make money beyond the microphone as well. Like I said, I use public speaking, and I do a lot of different things that really stem from my podcast to help me make money consistently. And I think that podcasting is a first pillar to it all, and it leads to you doing everything else that you want to do.
That's awesome, man. I'm going to buy a couple of them, okay? And I just made a note on my to-do to make sure I do that to support you. I love what you're doing.